this weekend sees the return of the Academy Awards to Los Angeles. Among the Oscars nominees are blockbusters such as Top Gun, Maverick, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, and All Quiet on the Western Front. But with last year's award ceremony so full of drama, the question is, what will be the focus this year?
Let's see, and I think this is a great for, if you're looking, people have been asking, is there going to be any trouble this year? Is there going to be any violence this year? And we certainly hope not. But if there is, I think the decision to go with a champagne carpet rather than a red carpet shows how confident we are that no blood will be shed.
Well, joining me to help answer that is our ICE correspondent Judita DaSilva. She's at the Dolby Theatre in Los Angeles, where the ceremony will be held on Sunday. I am completely and utterly envious. You're having, I expect, a whale of a time there, Judita. But of course, hopefully, there won't be a Will Smith, Chris Rock moment this year.
Oh, absolutely not. I think it's a slap that was heard around the world, but also shook the Academy to its core. And we've seen that even though in the immediate wake of the event itself, different actions were taking, the 10-year ban, the universal condemnation of Will Smith's actions. But even beyond that, as this new year is coming up, and it's the first one subsequent to that fateful night, they've shown a consented show of force, and also a renewed condemnation of what happened, and also a reassurance that such a thing will not happen again. Because a lot of people within the industry, and most importantly, a lot of powerful and influential talents within the industry, felt that the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences were not voracious enough in the actions they took against Will Smith. So they put together a crisis team. They know that such a thing is possible now in the spectrum of this hallowed halls of entertainment, and therefore they know should anything even attempt to come close to that, they're ready for it, they will handle it immediately, and it will not damage the reputation to the Academy any further than already has been by what happened last year.
And just looking at your split screen there, Judita, and some of the movements behind you, I mean, there seems to be a lot of activity. I wonder what the mood is and the scenes there are like. I mean, just a few days before the Oscar event and its circus blow into town.
It's interesting because over the years that we've been covering it, you kind of see the different groups of people that make this spectacular and magical night happen. We're now at the phase where the real tough guys, the grafters, the actual engineers behind putting the framework together, they're out in force. So it's a lot of tool belts and headsets and walkie-talkies and very birdy looking security men all over the red carpet. It's technically a red carpet, but it's actually a champagne carpet. They're going very left field this year. And it's all covered in bubble wrap, and all you can hear is the constant popping from workmen's boots. But what you have is, it's almost the bowels of the operation, the people, the nameless, faceless people that make everything work, the cogs within the actual machine. And it's great that for us, that when we come out on these preliminary days, we get to see the talent that makes everything possible, because they're often the unsung heroes of this entire operation. So they're the ones here, they're kind of in charge at the moment, but then over the next few days, they fall back into the shadows, and then the glitz and the talent and the glamour steps in.
Of course, the issue of diversity, a big one, along with that slogan, the Oscars so white. Has this year been good for the diversity of talent?
It's weird, yes and no. Because on the front of it, when you look at the nominees, there were fundamental stars that we felt were lacking when it came to nominations. For instance, Viola Davis for The Woman King, Daniel Deadwyler for Till, and also Dolly De Leon for Triangle of Sadness. But then again, this is something I wanted to share with you, is that on the backside, behind the scenes, diversity is really burgeoning. I had the most remarkable night yesterday. We're in the Dolby Theatre, because I'm staying at the Lowe's Hotel, which is right above the theatre, so it's the bowels of the operation. Everyone is there kind of putting things together, giving the credentials to the press. And I was in a press room doing some interviews, and as we walked in, the team from Arise, to go and get her credentials, there was this lady, beautiful, with her assistant, who just turned and looked at us and just said, "I don't recognize you. Who are you?" I said, "Oh, we're here. We're from Arise, covering the Oscars for Africa." And she was the director from BET. But she then started talking to me over the course of the evening and said, this year, there are so many black people behind the scenes. And African Americans have always said, we want a seat at the table. We want to be in those decision-making rooms, because that's how you get true diversity, because we know life from our perspective better than anyone else. So we can provide for our people in a way nobody else can. And that's what the Academy has done this year. From the musical director, Ricky Minor, that he was interviewed in this room last night, he was talking about what it feels like to be here, coming from being musical director for Jay Leno and on American Idol, and seeing so many black people around. The producer of the Oscars is a black woman. And just, we've been embraced. Everyone's kind of reached out to us and said that, oh, you know, if you need anything else, tell us, we will help you. And then I started to think about it and digest that this is what inclusivity is about, because our experience as African press is so much warmer, is so much better, because people like us are here. People who have shared the black experience in these spaces are here, and so they look out for us in a way that we never have done before. So whereas on the front of the camera we're not seeing the diversity, behind the scenes, I tell you, Charles, it really is here.
Well, that's good to know, and I'm glad you shared that with us, Judita. Let's look at the ceremony itself. What highlights can we expect? I understand that Lenny Kravitz will be performing, as well as a very pregnant Rihanna.
Yes, Lenny Kravitz is going to be doing the performance for the In Memoriam segment, where they commemorate all the people from the industry who've passed away over the past year. And again, Ricky Minor, who we interviewed last night, he was the musical director that's working with Lenny on this piece, and he gave us a little tidbit that he didn't, even talking about it made him emotional, because Lenny Kravitz has gotten to that stage in his life where mortality is very present. You're losing family members. You're looking at your own age and what you've done. So what they've worked on for this In Memoriam performance is really, really important to Lenny, because it speaks to what loss that he has experienced, the stage he's at in his life, the stage he's at in his career. So really look out for that. It's going to be something special. And also Rihanna, she's going to be performing Pregnant. It's her first nomination, so she definitely was going to come. It's a song that was co-written by Nigeria's very own Thames. And also, when you think about pregnant women performing, it's a special thing, because way back in 2003, Catherine Zeta-Jones triumphed her way to an Oscar for Chicago because she'd actually filmed the film not knowing she was pregnant. So seeing women in the beauty and majesty of that fundamental thing, pregnancy, that makes us women, showing themselves at the top of their game on the most celebrated stage in entertainment. It's such a wonderful moment that we're going to get to experience and share with Rihanna and her unborn second child.
Well, it sounds absolutely brilliant. Judita, thank you so much. I feel like we've got a really good sense of what's going on there and what will happen on the big day. Judita DaSilva is a Rise correspondent, and she was talking to us there from Los Angeles, where the Oscars are going to happen in a few days from now.